What's good, MJ traders and investors? It's Rod with Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today is Tuesday. It's February 7th. Hope you're doing awesome. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing a controversial topic and something that came up today with regards to MedMen. I'm getting a lot of questions about MedMen, whether or not this is a good long-term investment. Obviously, MJ comes with a whole slew of risks, and right now with the market in the state that it is in, anything can happen. So MedMen did say today that they are issuing a going concern, and a lot of people are speculating whether or not a bankruptcy is imminent. And I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on this. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash like, helps support me in the channel, doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. As I mentioned, there's a going concern, and obviously a lot of companies in the space are at risk of bankruptcy and just not able to sustain their operations until we see some sort of regulatory movement and some catalysts back in the space. But this is obviously something that I think needs to happen. We need consolidation. A lot of companies are probably going to get bought out. There's going to be mergers and acquisitions. A lot are just going to go bankrupt. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is with any new upcoming industry or burgeoning market. And this is going to be very similar with MJ, right? We know it happened in the .com days. It's happening through a crypto right now at the moment, and I think MJ is going to be very similar. And if you're wondering when the bottom of the bear market is going to happen, I just did a video on exactly that topic. Why are MJ stocks taking so long to bottom out? And I think it's because of big pharma, big tobacco, big alcohol trying to slow the space down. And I think big pharma has the most to lose, and they're trying to get into the space, right? But I do think that there's probably going to be some more pain and likely going to be a couple more bankruptcies, similar to the FTX debacle in the crypto space. And I think that's going to create probably the floor in the market. I also did a short video when I was in Florida. MedMen, Sunburn MJ, new company in Florida. They actually bought some of MedMen's assets, and this was actually an old MedMen story, so you can check that out. But essentially, they did sell off some of those assets. So we'll go through this article here. MJ MSO, multi-state operator MedMen, warns about cash situation and the ability to stay afloat. So California-based MJ multi-state operator MedMen Enterprises is warning its investors that it might not have enough money to meet its obligations for the next year, and there are questions about its ability to stay in business. MedMen's latest quarterly filing with the securities regulators noted that the company has only $15.6 million in reserves and working capital deficit of $137.4 million. MedMen also said in a February 2nd filing that it has defaulted on some debt payments and is looking for some extensions and refinancing abilities. The conditions described above raise substantial doubt with respect to the company's ability to meet its obligations for at least 1 year and therefore to continue as a going concern. And this is very standard practice to give this sort of warning for a publicly traded company. The company said in the report, which was filed without an accompanying news release, MedMen also noted that its cash needs are significant and not achievable with the current cash flow from operations. And this is even after they've sort of downsized. Green Market Report earlier noted that the company's difficult financial situation, and MedMen has faced a long list of challenges in the past year, ranging from offloading its Florida assets, which I just mentioned, which was purchased by Sunburn. They actually purchased some retail locations and also some cultivation facilities as well. So they offloaded Florida assets for $16 million less than the original offer, and to the failed sale of its New York assets to MJ multi-state operator Ascend Wellness. The company is still looking for a buyer, and MedMen did get good news recently with regards to a lawsuit alleging the company owed more than $1 million in back rent for a Chicago property, and that was dropped according to Law 360. And shares of MedMen were trading at 4 cents on today on the Canadian Securities Exchange. And also something that we know about MedMen is that Tilray acquired the majority position in their amended convertible notes. So that's something that could happen as well. But again, more than likely not going to happen until we get some sort of reform in the US, whether it be safe banking, even rescheduling could get us there. And we know that there's been some talks with regards to Congress about getting MJ rescheduled to Schedule 3 from Schedule 1. So a lot could happen. We just don't know yet. But obviously there's some risks, and not just with MedMen, but in all of the MJ space at the moment. And something I want to just drive home is the fact that I've been purchasing MedMen. I've been saying for a while now that it's one of my YOLO plays. There's obviously no shortage of good deals out there in the MJ market at the moment. And MedMen is one of those names that could offer, just generational wealth opportunity if it is able to stay afloat. Obviously, it's issuing a going concern, not to say that there's no risk, but if you take a look at the chart here, off the low there at 1.5 cents, the all-time low, we're currently up almost 200% off of that low. So again, there's some opportunities to be had here, but obviously most people are underwater. But just take a look at at 1.5 cents. If we go back to February 2021 highs on MedMen, which is sitting at around $1.79, $1.80. If we just go back to that high alone from February 2021, that is about 115x, right? So $1,000 investment there at the low of 1.5 cents to February 2021 highs, you're looking at about 110 to 120x. So that's about $1,000 investment into a little over $100,000, right? If we go back to all-time highs, that is 650x from the lows there. So that's $1,000 investment into $650,000, kind of similar moves to what Cardano and Dogecoin did back from their lows in March 2020 to their highs about a couple of years later. So again, not to say that there's no risk, but this is a name that I've been very reluctant to add heavily into my MJ portfolio. It's less than 1% of my MJ portfolio. Full disclosure, I do own MedMen, but it's a complete YOLO play. So I've invested, I think, just under $2,000 Canadian into this name. I will not invest anymore. And again, I have the maximum amount of money that I can lose, right? So if I put in $1,000 or $2,000, and again, this isn't financial advice, this is for entertainment purposes only, do your own research, but I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, this is just what I'm doing. If I put in $1,000, $2,000, which I did, that's the most I can lose, right? And that is less than 1% of my net worth, right? So I don't care if I see that $1,000, $2,000 ever again. I think it's around $1,700. So I could care less if I ever see it again. I'm writing it off as, as going to zero. But if we go back to all-time highs or even February 2021 highs, that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the upside is not capped, right? The downside is capped. The most I can lose is, $1,700, but the upside is realistically sky's the limit, and the potential is staggering. So this is how I'm playing it. I'm not completely sold on their business model. The whole fact that they're in bed with Tilray. Tilray also has some convertible notes with Hexo. So it seems like they have their hands in everything. But again, it's really going to be dependent on whether or not the US legalizes. But wouldn't be surprised if we did see some bankruptcies in the space. But taking a look at MedMen here on the weekly time frame, just doing some technical analysis, it's looking really good. We closed above the 10-week moving average for the last few weeks in a row. So we'll see if we can do it 1 month. Usually you want to get 2 or 3 confirmations, and we're getting that. And we're extremely bullish on the MACD and the stochastic. And with that being said, we have nothing nearby until the 50 weekly there at 8 cents. So from current levels, we could easily double up, right? We could easily see a 100% move just up to that 50 weekly moving average. And then we have nothing nearby until the 100 there at 20 cents. And then if we take a look at the daily time frame, we are bumping our heads off the 100 daily moving average there at 4 cents. And then after that, we have the 200 at 6.7 cents. And we could be gearing up for a potential golden cross here over the next few weeks and couple of months. The last time it happened was back here in January 2021. Price went from about 22 cents all the way up to about $1.80. So massive buy signal. We had the golden cross there. Then we had a death cross. Price went from about 30 cents all the way down to a 1.5 cents. So massive buy signal, massive sell signal. Now we're having another massive buy signal potentially over the next few weeks and couple of months where we could see the 50 below the 200 crossing, and that would give us a golden cross. So again, not to say that there's no risk involved, but there's a ton of reward as well. So that's how I'm going to be playing it. Let me know in the comments below if you're buying, if you're offloading. Do you think that this is an imminent bankruptcy? Do you think Tilray is going to step in? Do you think we're going to get some reform in the US that's going to save it just in the nick of time? Personally, I think that I don't think that they're going to go bankrupt. I think that there's probably a 60% chance that they stay afloat, 40% that they don't. But again, they could get bought out, they could get acquired, they could sell some assets, they could get financing extended. There's a ton of things that could happen, but again, I'm just being very, very cautious, and I'm not investing any more than I'm willing to lose, not breaking that golden rule. But if you could smash the like on your way out, if I earned it today, I would appreciate it. Share the video with anybody that might find value, and we shall see you in the next video.